Good morning. Thank you for tuning in to the Big East Ballers podcast. I'm your host, Nicholas Ullman. I want to thank my buddy Kyle for joining me today here on the show. Thank you for joining me today here, my friend.
Happy to be here.
Okay, so first, let's run through the state of the Big East. As we know, we're Big East guys, PC guys. So, um, you want to run through some of the teams?
Absolutely, I'd love to. Okay,
All
well,
right.
Marquette should be up there. They're young. They're a very young team, and they're performing to the highest expectations possible. You know, it's really shocking to see where they've come from the beginning of the season all the way to now. It's really fascinating.
Yeah, Marquette's been very good. They've won a lot of close games. Um, I did see something floating around the other day that they've had a bunch of big wins with the teams like Xavier, Creighton, and PC without one of their best players.
Yeah, exactly.
So just like PC last year, are they a little bit lucky? I think so. But I think that they're also a really talented team. Shaka Smart's a great coach. So they're definitely, as of right now, 13-3 in the conference. They're definitely the favorites to win it. They got 2 game advantage with about 5 or 6 games to go. So they're looking good to win it outright. And then second place, tied for second, we have a three-way tie between Xavier, Providence, and Creighton. Um, Xavier just lost a 1 point game to Marquette, heartbreaker, which is, I think, karma because PC lost to them on a last second shot a couple weeks ago. So I say that's karma. Totally biased. I'm sorry, but I mean, I can't get rid of my PC roots. I'm not wearing the hat today, but um, go Friars. Speaking of the Friars, they beat Creighton in a crazy double overtime game on Valentine's Day. I was at the game in attendance. I brought my grandfather. Great time. Great game. Devin Carter was unbelievable. He's playing like a all Big East conference guy. Bryce Hopkins, unbelievable. Creighton, obviously, really good team, top to bottom, really young too. A couple sophomores in there in the starting lineup as well. Alexander and Nemard, I think, is a sophomore too. So they're really good. All those guys, um, yeah, they're really good.
100% agree. Xavier is being looked down upon right now, and not as high as they were just because of their loss of Zach Freemantle. He like gives you the size you need. They already have Nunji who can even shoot the three ball, not like extremely well, but he could knock them down when need to be.
Mhm.
And it's fascinating. Like Xavier, they're still balling. A 1 point game against Marquette the other night without Fremantle. Now, if they had that size along with Nunji, that team is scary, very scary. The chemistry on that team, they all understand each other very well. And frankly, the games Xavier have lost were close ones and came down to practically just, you know, different calls that the refs made, and making free throws. That's where it comes down to in the end.
Mhm. That's what you got to execute, and they've done it for the most part this year. Fremantle's injury has hurt them, but still a really dangerous team, and I think he's pretty close to coming back for the tournament at least. So, okay, last segment here. It's coming down to the wire now with the last couple months to go. Who is your team to watch going into the conference tournament and following into March Madness?
So as of right now, I think the best team in the Big East with the best chance to make it all the way is Xavier, with getting Fremantle back. If Fremantle does come back, they could be another Sweet 16 Elite 8 team. But I feel like they possibly could be a Final Four team with Fremantle back in.
I'd have to agree with you on Xavier. I think Xavier with Fremantle is the best team in the Big East and the best postseason team in the Big East,
Yep.
like the Big East Conference and NCAA tournament. I think they can make the Final Four. UConn, however, is my biggest wild card. They're going to make the tournament. They're going to be a middle seed. And if that team plays up to what they can play up to, they might get their way into the Elite Eight, possibly a Final Four. But my favorite is definitely Xavier with Fremantle.
I agree with that one.
Okay, That's all for today. Thank you for listening. Thanks again for Kyle for joining me on the podcast, Big East Ballers podcast here today. I'm your host, Nicholas Ullman. Take care, everyone.